adjust the video player again. I have no idea what its problem is today. It just must not be having a good day. And we're gonna do a whole bunch of little lines like this. And it's gonna take a while. So I think what I'm gonna do is finish his head, and then we will come back for a ta-da, it's finished, what do you think? And be honest with me. If I did a terrible job, I did a terrible job. See, these kinds of detailed pieces of work are the things that I love to do. They are time consuming, yes. And it's easy to make terrible mistakes that really affect how it ends up looking in the end. Definitely. But you know, when you get it right, you get it right. And it looks good, and you know it looks good, and whether anybody else likes it or not, it don't matter. Because you were able to create something that met a challenge that you set for yourself. And when you set challenges like this for yourself, especially when these challenges have to do with just showing respect for an old beautiful memory, it is such a treasure to be able to accomplish. More purple up here. And I got a piece of hair. Probably dog hair, because I have the fan running around. And here. The poor old guy is laying right there, sleeping. Pain medicine working for him. And we have to just see what's gonna happen with him. Hate to say goodbye, but sometimes you have to. Because it's not fair to keep them around. And they're miserable. And their quality of life stinks. And they just look at you with that sad expression of, Mom, can you just let me go? Okay, I'm going to bring this down here. Come on, a little bit more water in there. So smooth on. A little bit better. There we go. We want a nice outline without losing the shape of the head. Why did that old song, Froggy Went a Courtin'? He did right. You guys remember that when you were kids? If you're my age, you might remember it. And yeah, that immediately brought back pictures in my mind of Grimlock being randy with Abby, and sometimes he was just too rough, and I wanted to go out there and just smack him. But I knew this was Mother Nature. I'm just using a bare corner here of this long comber brush. Barely using a corner here. Kinda. Well, no, that's not the hole it was in. Okay, back over here. Get some more. And this is the part of this painting that is gonna take the longest, because it's all the feathers, and some of them are darker than others. And I'm mixing this Moon Glow with sepia to create this color. Show you here on the palette, see if it'll show up. This color right here. It's Moon Glow and sepia. Sepia is Winsor Newton, Moon Glow is Daniel Smith. So giving them a shout out, because I mainly use Daniel Smith painting, but sometimes I use the Winsor Newton, and sometimes I use like Schmincke, or been starting lately to get into a little bit of a Gallo. But I prefer trying to use companies that are made right here in the United States. Things are just too crazy in the world to expect to have things coming long distance across oceans when, you know, it might not even get here. So, best thing is just do business with American companies. Plus, I like the fact that, M. Graham and Daniel Smith, they use a lot of honey in their mix. And of course, I have a thing for honeybees, and we have lots of honeybees around here. So I'm always planting plants to help out the honeybees. Oh, I can remember when, I believe it was Grimlock, maybe it was one of the other male ducks, was stupid enough to somehow catch a honeybee. I did not know that their beaks were sensitive enough to know that they were getting stung. And then we had an old shepherd dog that she knew she'd get stung in her mouth, and she got high on it. So she would go out there and she would purposely find honeybees and get stung in the mouth. And we're talking inside the mouth, not on the nose or the muzzle, in the mouth. She loved it. And we kept telling her, Era, you shouldn't do that. You might become allergic to them. Well, stubborn shepherd. She now was a great mommy, like when we first got Abby and Grimlock. The feed store, yeah, we bring home new baby chicks or the ducklings, and we show them to, the dog's name was Era, and Era would lay down on the ground and she would let them little baby chicks and those little ducklings just walk all over her. And she'd just love them to death. And then if there was one of them that for some reason didn't make it, maybe it was too hard on the chick front through, you know, they sent them through the mail. And sometimes they're not as strong as they need to be to make that kind of a trip. Anyhow, we would have to bury them because they didn't make it. And Era would lay down by the grave. First time we did it, she tried to dig the chick back up. She could not understand while we were burying her babies. But she come to understand that it happens sometimes. And so she would just lay there, and sometimes she would moan. You know, it was like she was just doing her own mourning thing. We didn't have cell phones with cameras on them back then, in those days. We just had the rotary phones. Okay, now what I should do is just get a big old glop of the two of these paints and just, yeah. But then again, by the time I do that, I won't need it anymore. Oh, dearie. Okay. Let's get on it and do Grimlock justice. Now, I want to thank y'all for sticking around and watching this whole process. Usually I work faster than this, but I am taking my time because I want to do justice to these two amazing, fun creatures that shared our life. And you know, sometimes that's just what you gotta do. A little sepia in here. Let's mix a little bit of sepia with maybe a tiny bit of dragon's blood. Not much, but just a little bit. And a sienna color in there. I'm just making a mess. Making mud. But you know what? Mud makes beautiful things like fireplaces and sculptures and yeah. Let's take this up here. Let's mix a little bit of buff titanium in there to lighten it up a little bit. Go down here, slide down. Now I'm going to take, well, I still got to finish that. So I'm going to take more sepia here and less of the purple Noon Glow. And we're going to just kind of bring some of this in here. And I'm going to take some of it down here. Mm-hmm. And let's go here and on there. Now we can fill those in. Okay, I'm going to go up to a little bit bigger size brush. Well, first I better get that done here. A little bit more. Okay. And a little bit. Yeah. I hope it looks better when it dries because right now it kind of looks like a little tugboat. Alright, finish this bit up and then I'm going to give y'all a break and then I'm just going to come back when it's done. So you can see the finished product. So when I upload this, if you don't want to see the whole thing, it's okay. Just skip forward and see at the end result. And then if you decide, oh, I'd like to know how that was done, then go back through and see how it was done. You know? No shame in that. No shame at all, at all, at all. Alrighty. And then there will be a finish to Abby, and there will be a kind of an overall layer that helps all the rough edges fit in a little better. And it'll definitely look better after it's had that and time to dry. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and all that, and I will finish this up and you'll see this at the end. Okay, we just have to do a little bit here. I did a naughty thing and went ahead and signed it, but anyway, these little white squiggles right here, those were done with a gel pen, which is here. And I actually did the center of their eyes with the gray micro pen. But I'm going to put a kind of a bluish tint up here yet on his back. She's pretty much done. And I'm pretty happy with the way she's turned out. There are a couple spots there that I can make the shadows maybe a little deeper, and it would maybe make her stand out a little bit more. But I also like it like it is, so I'm not sure which I'm going to do. But yeah, he's had his final on his head, which was a green, a dark green, very light wash to create that look. And the popping you're hearing in the background is the neighbor's blueberry fields. They're harvesting blueberries, and the wild birds are wanting some blueberries too, and the owner of the field wants to be able to take all those blueberries to market. Can't say that you blame him. That's the nature of trying to make a living off the land, you know. Sometimes it's not always an easy thing. Voice of experience here. But yeah. So anyway, I am going to real quick now do that same slightly green tinge over his back, very light. And this will be the final touch then. Help bring out some of that iridescence. Okay, let me get a little bit more of that green. It's hooker's green actually, with a little bit of another green in there. Turquoise, actually, phthalo turquoise. And it's My Mary, I can never say their name, and I am so sorry. My Mary Blue paints. And they are a really nice paint to work with. Okay, I believe some of those areas of the highlights showing through. And yeah, a little bit more right here behind his neck here. Okay, we'll let him dry overnight, and if there needs to be another touch-up, I'll do that touch-up, and then I'll use that picture for the thumbnail. But this is it. This is what we are going to call our tribute to Abby Darling and Grimlock. So, hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, and I don't know, I might put this one up for sale, I'm not sure. But then again, I might do another painting and have a set of paintings that are them on that pond when it wasn't so streaked up with pollen. So, I don't know. We shall see. But come on back and watch more of the videos, and I promise they are not always as long and drawn out as this is, but you know, this is one of the ways an artist works. So thank you for watching.